It is now my pleasure to introduce our high school principal, Mr. Bailey.
Thank you very much, Superintendent Smith. Thank you to Christy Holliduke and Katie Simons for leading us in the pledge this morning. I'm so honored to be addressing the class of 2012 and their families this morning. Although I've known them for only 2 short years, I can't say enough about their character, their compassion, their charisma, their confidence, and their cooperative nature. They've learned a lot, but they have also taught us a lot in their 4 years of high school. After all they've been through, I can't possibly let these students leave without one more PowerPoint presentation. I'd like to discuss the legacy that these young men and women have shared with us. A legacy is defined as anything that's handed down from the past and ideally will have a positive impact on the future. Can we have the house lights down just a little bit? Or not.
Oh, he's moving.
The first thing I think that this class has to offer is professionalism. And when I think about the professionalism of these young men and women, I think especially of those that have dedicated more than half their days, sometimes their junior and senior year, sometimes just their senior year, to take on career and technical endeavors and New Visions programs. Some of them even will leave here today with a technical endorsement that prepares them to go directly into the industry for which they prepared. Could be welding, could be cosmetology, could be automotive services. The technical endorsements are listed in your program. Would the students who are graduates of our CTE and New Visions program please stand and take a round of applause. Presence. I talk to the 8th graders every year and the incoming 9th graders and say that you have to be in it to win it. You have to be there. Attendance is a crucial component to success. We have 3 students who managed to do that every day for the 4 years they were in high school. We're going to give each of them a round of applause because that's tantamount to a miracle. I'm not saying they're on time, but they were here every day. Mr. David Andrews. Ms. Maisie Snyder. And Mr. Zachary Tucker. I did see them an awful lot, so I can vouch for their presence. Passion. When I think of passion, I think of students that involve themselves. They not only excel academically, but they leave their mark in athletics, in the arts, in extracurricular activities. When we consider people who have passion, we can qualify or quantify that by the members of our Hall of Fame. They're designated today by green cords, and these students have had an academic average of 85 or higher for their first 3.5 years of high school, and have participated in many, many athletics, arts programs, and extracurricular activities. Their names are listed in your program, but with the Hall of Fame, please stand and take a round of applause. It's okay to smile. You know your parents are taking pictures, right? scarier to be on stage than it is in the audience. Persistence. Unquestionably. It's not just the ability to do well. The persistence is the ability to do well consistently, again and again. I don't think there's any group that demonstrates that any greater than our National Honor Society. Not only have they achieved a high level of academic success over their 4 years in high school, they've demonstrated honor, they've demonstrated service to our community, and they've demonstrated leadership. They're designated today by a stole, a white stole, and a yellow cord. Would the members of our National Honor Society please stand and take a round of applause? Thank you. In considering legacy, Superintendent Smith mentioned a little bit about some of the other things that this class is leaving behind for us. Their good spirit, their cheer, their support, their mentorship of the younger men and women in the building. But the other thing that they've left behind for us are thousands and thousands and thousands. It's not the last page, but it is another one. So, what do? I, as a young man, confessed that I believed that duct tape was the solution to almost everything. And any of you who saw me in the lobby putting the banners up this morning can testify to the fact that I was quite confident in my duct tape technique. But I got to thinking the creativity of this class and the magic they were able to work with these little devils. I thought maybe there was a more viable solution than duct tape. Any of you who come in the lobby in the morning, you see those plastic tables. If you've been waiting for a bus, or waiting for a friend, or waiting for school to start, and you decide to plop down on those plastic tables, what sometimes happens? The 8th graders destroyed one of them a few nights ago because they were waiting for the event to start and they all sat on it. So I, in my wisdom, decided that what should be a reasonable repair is to try my patented experimentation, but the duct tape, it didn't pull it off. However, again, the inspirational message from our senior class. Then I got to thinking, how many things have you seen while you've been walking around the halls for 4 years that are like falling off a little bit, or maybe a little crooked or broken? So I got a little excited because I had thousands to go. So I went around and I found some other things to work on. That's the fire extinguisher sign going down to the weight room. Easy solution. No problem. Let's see. Oh. Where's this water fountain, do you know? It's across from the cafeteria line. Have any of you ever been able to get a drink out of that water fountain? I've been there 2 years. No water coming from that fountain. But now, when you come back to visit, we're good. How many of you have ever gone to the library to sit down and relax with the World Atlas, when all of a sudden one of our wooden chairs breaks loose? We have a solution for that. So I figured that if we can solve small problems, maybe we can work on some capital improvements with some of these remaining Post-it notes. So, we finally done some refurbishment on the sign in front of our school. This is from the drive-in back in the 1950s. It's a beautiful sign. And we repainted it, and we've done some nice work, but there's one thing that's missing. Now people will know where we are. Oftentimes we have difficult maintenance issues. I figured we could dress these guys right up. We can fix anything. Unfortunately, it's been a very difficult year for our athletic association. They support our student athletes. They do a tremendous job of supporting our student athletes. Thankfully, in the plans, we are working on building a new concession stand, which will be wonderful. But I figured that if knowing what they can do in 4 hours, I figured we could throw together one bang-up concession stand in about 3.5 hours. Seniors have been thrown in with the flotsam, the 9th, 10th, and 11th graders. I think it's about time the seniors had their own lounge. If you look at it closely, they have some topiary in there, and some sunlights. The old district office, which is our building up in Selkirk, has a number of mechanical issues. We're trying to decide how best to fix it. One of those things is a roof. Roofs are very expensive. I got the solution. That might use up the rest of our surplus, though. A lot of schools have a greenhouse, but the one thing schools don't have is a petting zoo. And I chose reindeers in the petting zoo, reindeer, because they are seasonally appropriate no matter what time of year. It's always Christmas somewhere. And every good petting zoo has a scientist in order to help the visitors, to help the animals if needed. So we wanted a scientist in ours. That is our very own chemistry teacher, Mr. Dykeman. Trying to blend in with the crowd there. He did that for a fundraiser. That's a good sport. Perseverance. I talked about persistence. Perseverance is the next step beyond. It's doing all those things. It's being consistent. It's being there. When I think of persistence, I think of our top 10 students who you see seated before you today. These top 10 students have not only come to school, they have done their work, and they have done it in an exemplary fashion. They have the 10 highest averages in our entire graduating class. For the top 10, please stand and take a applause. This is the scariest thing they've ever had to do in their whole lives, just so you know. We actually have a pin this year to give to each of the top 10 students. I'm going to ask Katerina to come around the back of the row there, and I'll award them their pins. Katerina Simons. Nora Reynolds. Maisie Snyder. Jessica Porter. Elena Kruger. Megan Pentak. Cassandra Ibbotson. Christiane Haladuke. Raylan Janicki. And Mary Doan. Now they have something to do while everyone else is talking. Figure out how to put them on their rows. Please be seated. I wonder how long they'd stand there. So, you, the class of 2012, you've left your mark in many positive ways. And we thank you for all that you've done for yourselves, for your families, and for your school. We've been blessed by your time here with us. Parents, thank you for allowing them to spend these 4 years with us. I'd like to do two things. I'm going to introduce Mr. Andrews and the High School Jazz Ensemble, and I'm going to ask that 8 of our top 10 please go down to their seats in the front row. Now would be a good time.